Today we're going to be installing a set of Recon Projector headlights. We're going to be replacing the factory lights down here with these right here. We're going to go through and show you how to wire up the halos and the LEDs that go up the side, and show you how to install everything.
Alright, next we need to pop off the radiator cover, which is this panel here. There are 6 pins, and we need to pop those out. First you got to pop the center piece up. Like that. Make sure you pop all 6 of those out. And then we're going to remove the cover, slide it up, and over off like that. Next step, we got to remove the bumper. And there's 2 bolts on the top. There's one here and then one on the other side. Just remove those.
Next, take a 7/32 socket and remove the bolts underneath the bumper. They go all the way across the bottom of the bumper.
Alright, next we need to remove the 3 screws underneath the fender. There's one here, here, and here, so that we can shimmy out this fender cover so we can access the 2 bolts that are right up here. Alright, now we're going to pull this fender cover out. You do want to make sure that you turn your tires so that you can have access to get in on the inside here. Ouch. Alright, now we have access to the 2 10mm bolts that are right here. Alright, now we're going to remove the bumper. You want to pull up here, make sure it comes off that clip, and kind of pull up and push down. Then you're going to want to reach in here and unhook the fog light. Okay, now that we've just disconnected that, we're going to remove the bumper. Also, you will need to disconnect the turn signals on both sides, just behind the bumper. When you go to lay it down, you want to make sure you have a carpet or a blanket to set it down on so you don't scratch the front fascia.
Next, we've got a couple of 10mm bolts that we need to disconnect, and then we've got a little pin that we need to pop up with a flat head to remove the factory headlight housing. Okay, and then we just need to pop up this pin. And then it all comes out, and then this pulls out. And then we just need to disconnect the light bulb. Okay, and then we need to remove the bulb because we're going to reuse the harness here. So you just pop this pin down and pull on it a little bit. Okay, now we'll show you how to prep the wires for installation on the car. A few things that you'll need is some 14 to 16 gauge wires. We bought black and red, some disconnects and some line taps, and also some wire strippers. Now you'll want to go through and strip all the wires. Make sure that you've got about a ½ inch to work with on each. Next, you'll want to take the black wire from the halo and the black wire from the LEDs and group them together. Next, you'll want to take some disconnects. There are male and female connections. You'll want to use the same type on the back of the light, and then we'll do some hookups to wire into the car. You'll want to connect that to the grouped wires. Now when you crimp down, you'll want to make sure to get the metal piece in the middle and give it a tug to make sure it's on tight. Next, we'll wire together the white power wires from the LEDs with the red power wire from the halo, and we'll go through the same process on this side. Again, you'll want to use the same type of disconnect for the back of the light, and we'll use the other ends for the wiring that goes into the car. Next, we'll go through and add some tape to the connections to add strength. Next, we're going to move up the wires and tape a little bit more to make for a cleaner installation. Next, you'll want to cut 2 additional pieces of wire that we're going to use for the connection end on the car. You want to take another disconnect, and you'll want to take the opposite end of what you've already wired and hook that up to one of the new wires that you've cut. You'll strip one side of these wires and prep and crimp just like we've done before. You don't need to strip the other side. You'll want to do this for the red wire as well. Now we're going to move back out to the car and show you how to wire this all in using the line taps. Okay, now it's time to wire in the headlights. This connection here is going to go to the new bulbs. And then down here you've got your turn signal and just a parking light. You want to tap into the parking light wires. Black's going to be the ground and the other is going to be the power. And that's going to power the halo and the side LEDs so that they're on as soon as the park light comes on. So we've got a couple of line taps. We'll tap the power first, which is red. You slide that into the open one. You want to make sure to slide it in all the way. And then this other one just slides over. And then crimp this down with some pliers. And then fold it over. Okay, now we're going to tap into the ground wire. This line tap cuts into both wires and makes a connection, and then you just fold this over. Okay, now on the back of the headlight housing here, we've got the black, which goes to the black for the negative. This is going to ground everything. We've got the power going to the red over here. It's going to provide power, and again you want to make sure to tap into just the parking light, not the turn signal, because you don't want your halos to be blinking. And then the factory harness just connects into here. Okay, now we're going to put this back up into place, and then we're going to start screwing everything back in. Okay, next you just need to go through and screw everything back in just the way it came off. Okay, before tightening everything in, you want to double check and make sure that everything's working properly, and make sure that when the park lights come on, that the halo and the LEDs come on, and that when the main headlights go on, that they come on as well. So you want to double check and make sure that everything's working properly before you hook everything up. Okay, now that you have the new headlights in, you've checked and made sure that they're working properly, it's time to put everything back the way it was.